I think the first day of school, he read us a Dr. Seuss book called The Lorax about like environmental destruction and stuff. So I thought he was going to be a pretty cool teacher because he read us a children's book the first day of school.
I thought he looked pretty cool. Like most science teachers were just like old at this school, or they looked like they were mean. And I just see Mr. McNally, he's like bald head, big muscles. And you're just like, oh, this guy's gonna be cool. And then the first day of class, like he basically just told us a lot of jokes. And since he was his first year as a teacher, he was teaching us. It was like a mostly freshman bio class, so he got to know us all pretty well, which is cool.
Well, the first time I met Mr. McNally, I was in the copy room and very, very overwhelmed because I was working on a teaching credential and I had just taken over Miss Edson's classes, so I was all over the place, and he was making copies and I think he knew how to unjam the copy machine, so that was impressive and appreciated by me. And we'd also just sort of talked about our experiences as relatively new teachers. So my first impressions were that, he was sensitive to sort of where I was, and he was interested in sort of being supportive. And he was also, seemed sort of on top of his, what would it be, his job, I guess?
His game.
Yeah, he's on top of his game, that was the phrase I was going to use. In a very sort of realistic and grounded way.
Ginger.
Ginger. He's nice, he's cool, and he's funny, and he makes everything fun.
Knowledgeable and goofy. He's a little goofy. And that's probably where I would start, and I would open a thesaurus and go from there.
Confident, funny, and knowledgeable.
Like, nice, supportive, helpful, funny, good teacher.
Intelligent, suave, and caring.
I think he's a really good teacher. He's really awesome, and he's kind of lenient, so it's like, a bonus. And then he's a junior, makes everything better. Yeah.
Funny loving.
And he has a bunny, so caring. You can add caring to the list of qualities about him.
McNally's relationship with Ruru is pretty adorable. It's his pet rabbit, and Mr. McNally always goes and checks up on Ruru and make sure he's okay. Ruru has like a little cage in his room and everything.
I remember during Chem 2 years ago, the freshman debates were going on, so then a few freshmen came into class just in their suits and they rushed and sat down, and then he's like, all right guys, wait, before you sit down, stay up here in front of the class. So then he goes and he starts messing with their suits. He's like, gentlemen, here are a few lessons about formal wear. Always button your top button one of your button jackets, and tuck your shirts in. And then he just went off on a tangent about that, and then he was like, all right, you guys can sit down now. And that was pretty funny, and I'll never forget that, what he taught me. The 3 buttons on a suit, sometimes, always, never.
What about his sweater collection?
I am a big fan of his sweater collection currently, and I think it has developed nicely over the course of the last 3 years. But it's hard for men to dress in a way that is not the exact same every day, and I think that sweaters are an excellent way of accessing that. I mean, he could do blazers, but that's really, really, I don't know, very formal and a little stuffy, maybe. But I think that he's giving Mr. James a run for his money.
Oh, definitely.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Well, since he's an Iron Man, I know that he like trains a lot. I can imagine he does like a lot of biking, running, swimming. Looks like he works out a lot.
Definitely when he sang "Baby, Baby, Baby" in the at the what was it, the homecoming rally or something, and he was like singing and doing like the robot or his version of the robot that he seems to be his go-to dance move.
You can also see him as a club dancer. I can imagine he's all about the club scene, and maybe he takes like tango lessons. He strikes me as a very, very graceful person.
Dancing with the stars!
Teacher, hold the dick. It's graduation time. Walk across the stage, 2012. Finish line, finish line, finish line, finish line. Senior at it sick, 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 senior at it sick. 10 papers, but I don't pay